case you didn't know, it's Slay, y'all. Only for your official intro today, I'm going to say that Darius Slay is the Super Bowl champion as our guest analyst. I'm so glad to have you again today. Had a great time yesterday. We've got Jeremy Fowler here. We have Mina Kimes as well. Mina, it's Slay.
I really could have used that video before we started recording, and I was like, hey, Darius.
Or big play. We're going to have a lot of these big plays in the show today. We've got some really fun stuff coming your way. But we do begin with some news from yesterday. The Commanders signed quarterback Russell Douglas to a one-year deal worth up to $3.8 million. Douglas spent last season with the Dolphins. Remember, he was drafted by the Eagles in 2017, so he's going to make his return to the NFC East. Now, Douglas is one of several additions that the Commanders made to their defense. They look to improve a unit that allowed nearly 27 points per game last season. Remember, Washington signed pass rusher Odafe Owe. They drafted former Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles with the 7th overall pick. Durante Jones takes over as defensive coordinator after spending the previous 3 seasons as an assistant to Brian Flores in the Vikings. Think about how good that defense was, so you can kind of consider what it's going to look like in Washington. Lots of ads on defense for Washington this offseason, the biggest being, or at least the most recent, being Russell Douglas. So, Slay, what do you make of this Douglas addition for the Commanders?
I think it's a great addition, man. Sewell's a great friend of mine. He's a guy I know very personally. We worked out together in Houston a couple of times. He's pretty good, man. He's pretty good. Great leadership. A guy that's going to come in and work and improve his craft and help some of these young guys there. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm mad that he NFC. Yeah. He should have took it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But I know how the money works. He got to go where the money goes.
He didn't consult you. Like maybe the Eagles called.
He could have called me, man. Yeah. He know that. But he's an enemy right now.
You could have put in a good word, and now he's an enemy. Look at that. Mina, do you like the changes the Commanders have made on defense this offseason?
Yeah, the Eagles don't need him. Slay knows that. I like the additions to the front 7 in particular, looking at that list of names, adding some talented young edges, athleticism, Owe, Chason, who I thought was sneakily pretty good for the Patriots. And then the linebacker group suddenly becomes such a position of strength for them. Of course, drafting Sonny Styles, who sounds like he's going to play the Mike, but then also adding Leo Chenal, and then you've got Frankie Lugu there, who's one of the best blitzing linebackers in the league. And their new defensive coordinator, Durante Jones, has kind of a fun problem, which is, as they switch to a 3-4, how do you get all these guys on the field at the same time? I think Chenal and Lugu, they could walk up and play the edge, and from watching in Minnesota, and if this defense is anything like the Flores defense, loves to create chaos, the linebackers walking up, dropping into coverage, all of that. But I just look at this front 7, and Slay, I feel like he has a lot of fun players to work with, and I think they really improved there.
Yeah, Slay, when you think about these ads on defense, is it enough to take the pressure off of Jayden Daniels and the offense on the other side?
Yes, I think so as well, man. They already a high-power offense that can score a lot of points, and he don't have to be the superhero he's been these last couple of years. So watching Daniel play like this, how he was, he'll get back to his rookie year and get it going. He's coming off these injuries, so hopefully the defense do a great job of lowering the point stuff and continue to keep scoring how he scores. He's a very exciting player.
Yeah, he's a nightmare for a defender when he's doing clicking on all cylinders, right, when he's fully healthy. Now, Jeremy, one name that keeps coming up, right, for the Commanders is wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. What is the latest going on with his potential availability?
Well, Laura, in his latest Instagram post, Brandon Aiyuk said that he will not be applying for reinstatement because he's on the left squad list of the 49ers. This truly leaves him in no man's land because I'm told the 49ers don't have to do anything. They don't even have to remove him off that list. They can keep him there all season if they want. He has to report to the team in order to facilitate any sort of release or any sort of resolution. He says that he's not doing that, and he doesn't really have any sort of grounds for a grievance with the NFLPA either because he didn't report. So truly in a situation where his options are scarce, if not non-existent right now, because if he becomes a free agent, teams don't talk to you, say that he's not going to be very viable, and at the very least that he gets on somewhere with the team, it's going to be at a vet minimum contract. He went in the back and forth with Jayden Daniels. It seems like Washington would go another route at this point, look at maybe a free agent wide receiver closer to training camp.
Yeah, and a reminder, if you missed that back and forth with Jayden Daniels that Jeremy's referencing, he was basically calling out Jayden Daniels on Instagram and saying that he would need to change some things if Brandon Aiyuk was his teammate. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens with Aiyuk. Now, after starting every game during his rookie season en route to the NFC Championship game, injuries did limit Jayden Daniels to just 7 starts last season. How about this, you guys? It's truly insane. This is Jackson Dart, in case you're trying to figure it out from the back. You couldn't really tell, but that was an unbelievable throw. I actually think even better catch, potentially, throwing a dime off a boat. And then he's like, all right, that means I got to jump in myself. One thing that was funny for me was like watching him try to figure out how he was going to jump off the boat. He was trying to find like multiple spots, and then he finally. Anyway, pretty big play on the 4th of July for Jackson Dart. Our own big play Slay is here. Would you want your quarterback jumping off a boat like that for the season?
Hey, look, man, I'm one of the guys that live life on the edge as well, man. I like to have fun. As long as you don't get hurt, as long as you're having fun, enjoying his time, man, because he get hurt, man, that's a big issue. But I'm not too mad at it. I like the excitement of my quarterback being that, just lit like that.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. His teammates say about him. Like he's a lot of fun. He takes chances. circumstances. Sometimes that meant he was getting hurt on the field. But either way, Jeremy, what are you hearing about this Giants offense and what it could look like this season under Harbaugh's leadership?
Yeah, they love Jackson Dart for that reason, for the swagger he's got, whether he's jumping off boats or jumping into defenders. They do want him to be a little more judicious when he does that. They want him to run when he has to solve a problem, but not to run just to run. And so they want to protect him because the Giants feel like they finally have a reputable offensive line. It's taken years of just different lineups, people in and out. They feel like they have a good starting five, so they want to run the ball. 5th in rushing offense last year. It's going to be a lot of Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scatterville, even the 3rd and 4th string backs. I think you'll see them get involved to try to ease the game and protect Dart the best they can.
The biggest question is Malik Neighbors' availability and his health. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Do you have an update on that?
Well, people I talked to with the Giants, it's a good point you brought that up. They're hopeful. That's the word they use. We're hopeful he'll be ready week 1. They can't guarantee it. They got to see what he can do at training camp. He had that setback back in the spring, so they know he changes everything. And if he's not there, they got to add somebody else most likely.
Okay, keep an eye on that for sure. Now, Harbaugh known for having a physical run game, right, but also a physical defense. So do you see this Giants team making big improvements under Harbaugh on the defensive side?
Yeah, I just went back and watched the Giants defense again because, going into last season, we thought, man, this pass rush is going to be crazy. And the pass rush was crazy. Abdul Carter in particular. I know he only had 4 sacks as a rookie. Let me tell you, after rewatching him, he should have had double-digit sacks. He's so disruptive. His get-off is insane. He's got elite bend. He's already got the moves. To me, he's going to be a superstar. But the question remains whether or not him and Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau can even affect the game if this defense still can't stop the run. And I thought last year the linebackers didn't do a good job of protecting these pass rushers who are more speed-oriented, Carter and Burns. That's an area that they invested in a lot this offseason. Drafting Arvell Reese can play off the ball next to Tremaine Edmonds. To me, that's kind of the defining question. Can those linebackers help this defense not be the worst in the NFL against the run? Because, Slay, you know this, you got to stop the run to have some fun, and those pass rushers can't tee off if opposing offenses are rushing the ball at 5 yards a clip.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've experienced some great pass rushes, so I had some great days in my time. So with this secondary there, with them guys coming off the edges like that, it would be great. And Denard Wilson was a guy that runs the secondary for us in Philly. That's just amazing. Very amazing, man. He's I think it was #1 pass defense that year. So I'm seeing him go around and turn that all around. And I can see him being very handsy-on with the DBs for sure. So I'm looking excited to see what these guys do. Like I said, there's another team in the NFC East that I just don't like. So, but I hope nothing but the best for my guy Denard Wilson, man. And with him being the defensive coordinator, man, I sure see a lot of great upside.
We're making you talk a ton about the NFC East.
I know. I feel bad right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to speak highly on them.
Later on, we're going to get to the Eagles, and we do have more to say about that. The Giants, by the way, have 5 former first-round picks on their front 7. Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Tremaine Edmonds, and Arvell Reese. Mina referenced a lot of them. All right, to some news now. Marshawn Kneeland, the Cowboys defensive end who died by suicide last season at age 24, has been posthumously diagnosed with CTE. Kneeland died in November, but concerns about his mental health began as early as 2020 when he was playing at Western Michigan. The director of Boston University's CTE Center said she was, quote, not surprised that Kneeland was diagnosed with CTE. In a statement, Kneeland's family said in part, while this diagnosis does not change the tragedy of his passing, it provides important context about some of the stand.com that ranks the top 10 cornerbacks in the NFL based on a survey of executives, coaches, and scouts. He's talked to him. Okay, Pat Surtain takes the top spot, and it wasn't close, as Surtain received more than 75% of the first place votes. Derek Stingley Jr., Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, and Trent McDuffie round out the top 5, while the Eagles are the only team with multiple players in the top 10. So, Jeremy, Surtain coming in at #1 by a large margin. What did you learn about how the league views him?
Laura, they say it.